So, yay! So I'd like to welcome everybody to Module 2, call number, well, it's actually the nth call, but like, we're going to call it Module 2. So welcome everybody. Let's do a big, if you want to unmute yourself, we'll do a quick, just 1, 2, 3, wahoo, and let everybody check in. Ready? 1, 2, 3, wahoo! Yay! Welcome! All right. Induce a little chaos into the system. Cool. So a couple of housekeeping notes that I have for you before we get kind of rolling. One of them is I'd love you to see if it would be light for you to take a before picture of yourself. So one of the things that Rosie and I have noticed as we do this work with people is the difference before and after working with the person is dramatic. Like, oh my God, they're so different looking. And you can see it in yourself. Like I look at older pictures of me and I'm like, ooh, okay. So my encouragement to you, and this is nothing you have to share with anybody or just for you, is to actually get a camera and take a picture of you right here, right now in this space. Some of you may have already done it, or if you have a recent picture, like hold that aside as a before picture and stick it in some folder somewhere that you have that. And then at the end, I'm going to have you take another picture and compare, because it's challenging to notice like the difference, but you're going to physically see a difference in yourself. Or many people notice they physically see a difference in themselves. So I don't want to put that in your reality, but so I'd love you to, if that feels light for you, make a note to take a picture of yourself, put the date on it, or like write it before, or something that you have delineation here. Another housekeeping note is I've added a folder, and a lot of you found it, my Easter eggs inside the playground, called a downloads folder. Is that what I called it? I think I called it. Now I'm doubting myself. Whatever. So that's manipulation.
Downloads. Assistant downloads.
Downloads. Thank you.
Assorted. Oh.
Yeah, that's actually what that means. Assorted. I should probably label that, shouldn't I? So there are resources. I have lots of resources that I've developed as I've gone through this with my private clients and as I've gone through it with myself. And like, what do I do with all that stuff? And what I'm noticing is there are some of you that are further ahead than others, which is like not a surprise. So there are some of you that are requiring resources that others of you are like, I don't even know what that is. And that's fine. So what I want to start, and you probably have already noticed there's things in, there's like entity clearing loops in there. There's being taken out loop in there. So if you ever feel drawn, that's a place to go and poke around. If you're looking for something new and different, I'm going to keep adding stuff to that, and more stuff will appear in there this week. What I want to say about that is it's not all relevant to everybody yet. But if you find yourself drawn to poke, go poke in there. But things that are strong or intense, I will put a warning on them. So you'll bump into that warning before you actually engage it. There are some things that I want you to be aware that this is going to do some really strong stuff. And for some people, strong is one thing, and for some people, strong is another thing. Like whatever. It's just be aware when you engage some of those tools. I've actually had to calm some of them down and find milder ways of doing them because they were they cleared too much too quickly for some people. Me including. So it's like, so I will warn, I'll put little warning labels on those. But the concept is, as you go along, put your comments in the Facebook. I will sometimes private message you saying, how about you go and check out this? And I will get you started on things in advance that feel like you're ready for that. So that's what that area is for on the website. But feel free to poke in anything that your heart feels desired to poke in, because your awareness knows what to do with all that. So other housekeeping notes. I can't think of any. Is Michelle on?
Yes. Yes, I'm here.
Hi, Michelle. Michelle, do you have any
Hello.
do you have any thoughts for housekeeping notes?
No, I think everything's been really tidy in Facebook. But if there's the only thing I'd like to say is if there's anybody who still wants to join the group, just to drop, get hold of either one of us or make us friends on Facebook, and we'll help them in that way. Because I've sent out an email to everybody, but maybe some people haven't managed to get it.
Cool. Thank you. Yeah. And there are some people who have kind of just sworn off Facebook, and I totally understand that. And if you're wanting to be part of the group, but the whole Facebook thing just doesn't work for you, there are ways that I can show you how you can do that where you don't have to be involved in Facebook, but you can be part of the group. So if that is interesting to you, let me assist you, but it's not required, but it's encouraged because there's a lot of information that we reveal, and the conversations on that website are like, holy cow. So there's a lot of content that gets inadvertently or side delivered there. So it's beneficial to be part of that.
It's such a contribution. It's huge.
Yeah. Yeah. And
Definitely,
it gives a space for all of us to share and bring things together. Some of the cool things that people have shared in there, I'm like, woohoo, this is so cool. So thank you for everybody's dance in that group. I'm like, wow, this is so awesome. So that's what it felt like. The call never ended. It just moved into the Facebook group.
It's true.
Yeah, that's what it felt like. Cool. So I would like to then turn things over to Rosie. Rosie's going to do a activation with you, and then I'll explain a little bit more about what's actually up and with all of that. Rosie, was there anything that I needed to pre-explain with that?
Well, you were going to. Well, I don't think so.
Okay, let's just run with that, and then.
Yeah, let's just run with it.
Cool. Okay, so I turn it over to Rosie.
Okay, and turn it to the outside. Woo-hoo-hoo. So I want to invite everybody to just wiggle a little bit so you can get comfortable. Take your shoes off if you feel like it. Put your feet on the floor. And just drop into your breathing. And as you're breathing, feel your breath. Feeling your breath fill every cell of you. And on your out breath, just releasing all distraction, any internal chaos. Not forcing your breath, just paying attention to it. And then let your breath go out through your feet into the earth. And feel yourself connect with the consciousness of the planet. And breathing that consciousness up through your body. Breathe out into that infinite spaciousness in all directions. And just let yourself luxuriate for a moment in that connection to your body, to the consciousness of the planet, to that infinite vastness. Then I'd like to invite you to bring your energy inside your body to your center. And energetically sit down in your center. and dim any light that's there until you're surrounded by darkness. Just kind of a peaceful darkness. And then one of the things in our life is we can be experiencing a separation. You do these meditations that join spirit, body, soul, and separating into parts that which is part of a whole. So I'm going to invite you to invite in these parts of your essence to appear to you as a ball of light. So invite in your soul, and then invite in your spirit. Invite in your natural mind, and then your multidimensional energetic body. Just take a minute to feel their energy. Notice any color that you see, size of them, general vibrancy. And if it seems like any one of them is missing, check and see if there may be a couple of them joined together. If so, that's fine, that's great. But just be sure they're all there. And if they're not, bring back the one that's missing. Somebody needs to be on mute. And then vaporize any other lights or energies that may be in the space. This is your essence space, and only these lights and these energies are going to be there at this moment. Then invite these energies to remember when they were all together as one. And clear any shikyu, unconsciousness, anti-consciousness energy fog about that. And notice that frequency of wholeness that's shared by all of them. And vaporize anything that makes them feel or think that there's any separation. Any booby traps, Wernicke commands, binds, agreements, and everything else Jaden says, destroy and uncreate that. And let their energies frequency match with each other. Just intend it. And as you intend it, begin to notice a spontaneous merging beginning to happen. Until they come together and create one ball of light. And notice what emerges. What's the vibrance like? The swirling of colors. The That is your energetic signature. Notice it shifting, vibrantly colorful, and transparent, totally transparent. Back to color. This is your inalienable soul essence. And this inalienable soul essence cannot be taken or separated and is invisible to interference and manipulation. Just take a minute to enjoy it, luxuriate in it, and let it fill every cell of you, releasing all that no longer resonates. Any implants, explants, etc. Across all time, no time, space, realities, dimensions, alters, fractures. And then let this inalienable soul essence reach out and connect to each one of us here on the call, each one of us will be listening to a replay across all time and space. And then let it wiggle your toes, wiggle your fingers, wiggle your whole body, fully embodied to outcreate together with Jaden today. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, Rosie.
Thank you, Rosie.
Thanks.
Thanks, Rosie.
Thanks, Rosie.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Rosie.
Rosie.
All right. Whew. And we're going to talk a little bit more today about where Rosie went and some of the things around that inalienable soul concept. But I want to first create a space to check in and see how was the home play this week that you did. And I realize if you're anything like me, you're like, oh, after this thing that Rosie does, she makes it so simple, but it's like, all this stuff going on. At least that's my experience. But I'd love to check in and see how was home play for you this week. How did that go? How was your week? Anybody who'd like to share? It's not a place to necessarily bring up. We're not looking to bring up things to play with. We're just kind of looking to check in and see how things went.
Jaden, this is Shilpa.
Hi.
Hi. So the home play was fantastic. It brought up a lot of stuff. We cleared out a lot of things. But after that, after my session with Michelle, I've been kind of numb in the sense that I'm not feeling or sensing much. I've been running some entity clearings and all that stuff, but especially when I read on Facebook, I'm not resonating.
Yeah. Cool. Let me tap in. So is it entity? Is it demon? Is it creature? Is it alien? Or something else?
I'm getting more like demon and something else.
Okay. So all the shikyu, stupidity, unconsciousness, anti-consciousness, energy fog that you have around all of this and that anybody else has, can we just try and create all of that?
Yes.
Send, evoke, can't reclaim, renounce, denounce, just trying to create vaporize, make null, void, good, bad, right, wrong, pod, poc, schutz, bis, nice, bias. and it's interesting. What's coming up is the question of, everybody kind of tap into this energy for you. What are you unwilling to receive that if you were willing to receive it would shift all of this? And just perceive whatever that, and then receive. And everything in the way of effortlessly, simply, and easily receiving that, can we just try and create all that?
Yes.
Yes.
Make, null, void, good, bad, right, wrong, pod, poc, shorts, boys, all night. Yes? So the stuff that when I tap in, Shilpa, what I get is actually stuff that we're going to work on today. So, but I want to make sure that we get somewhere with that. So if you could, by the 2/3 of the way through the call, check back in again if that doesn't feel different.
Okay.
Okay.
Will do. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes.
Hey, Jadon.
Hi.
This is Domingo.
Hi.
Well, the play was fantastic. After we finished the play, the space was like, wow,
Yeah.
you know, it was amazing. But what I noticed has been the attack has been, wow, over my permission, you know. It's like, and then I still clearing, it goes away, and then after an hour it comes back, it's like a super wave. It's like boomba again. So are you going to talk about that today?
What do you find yourself clearing that actually makes the biggest shift?
Demons.
Okay.
Yeah, demons.
Yeah. So, somewhere I have a loop that has demon on it.
Oh yeah, I got in your loops.
So when you play that, does that do anything for you?
It does, and sometimes I have to do it myself, like 20 minutes, like keep doing it, and then it's like finally goes out. But it's like they come back, or it's something else. I'm not sure.
Yeah. So and that's a trap, by the way, and that's a great one. Thank you for saying that. So Truth, how much of it comes back, or how much are you digging into more like caches or stashes of it?
The second one, yeah.
Yeah. So more often than not, but not always, coming back is a manipulation. But so really double check that. When you get that as it's coming back, that's often an inserted point of view that kind of makes you feel like I can't do anything. This is never going to work. I can't get this right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Come on, it's going to last, whatever it is.
Yeah. Totally. So allow yourself to perceive. Wow, did that bring up energy for the group?
Yeah, that was good.
So allow yourself to perceive everything that came up there. Wow. And allow yourself to perceive, and I'll explain this later, but all the stacks and all the stringers and all the implants that are related to all of this. Whoa. And everything that all of that is, Truth, can we just choose to just try and create all this?
Choose that.
Yes. Vaporize, rescind, revoke, you can't reclaim, renounce, just trying to create, make, null, void. As a sovereign being, free will, universe, times a gazillion, make, null, void. Vaporize, good, bad, right, wrong, pop, oxygen, yeah. I'm sorry, this is a distraction, but I'm going to do it here. Let's see if we can see it. Does that cloud look strange to you at all right there? Do you feel any weird energy in that?
Oh, yes. Oh, yeah.
Hello.
That's been hovering outside my window. That whole cloud mass just kind of parked there, and it's been kind of saying hi to me for a while. I'm like, hi, okay. I don't often, but like, you notice what you notice, right? And whether you're making this shit up or whether you're noticing it, who cares? Like, you just kind of play with it and you have fun with it. And it's like, okay, well, isn't that cute? Cool. Okay. And how often do you notice energy or, yeah, let's see who's making all that noise. How often do you notice beings or other energies watching or paying attention to you and what you're doing?
More and more frequently.
Yeah, I know. Isn't it cool?
No, not really.
Okay, well, it will become. So all the shiki, stupidity, unconsciousness, and how many people are like, no, I'm not looking there. No, I'm not. I'm just not going to see that. Anybody?
Yeah.
Okay. So what you're not willing to look at can fuck with you. That's Jaden's limiting point of view. But like, what if you play with that? Like, what you're not willing to look at can fuck with you.
Like Doctor Who, like those stone people, like Doctor Who.
Sorry, I never connected with that. I don't know why. I never connected with that. So it's, yes. So it's like what is everything that is your barrier to connecting to? Rewind. What is everything that is your barrier to perceiving? No, I want to go back further. What is everything that causes you to not be willing to be aware or perceive what's really occurring in your reality as if it could benefit you in some way?
Yes.
Ooh. Wow. And what are all the Wernicke's commands and booby traps around all of that? Wow. And what are all the manipulations that are intertwined and intertangled in all that? Hi there. And what are all the stacks, stringers, and implants that are involved in all that? Wow. Hi. So everything that all of that information, all that content is, can we just choose to destroy and create it all?
Yeah.
I choose it. Yes.
I choose that. Resend it, local, can't reclaim,
I
now
choose it.
just trying to create. Vaporize, 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 vaporize. Make, null, void, good, bad, right, wrong, pop, yeah? So how many places did some other being who knew you were more powerful than they were and knew you had a lot of gifts and abilities, how many places did other beings convince you to be less than you for their benefit, and they gave you some story that it somehow benefits you?
Wow.
Yes, too many.
Yeah, really. So everything that all of those manipulations are, all the shikyu, stupidity, unconsciousness, anti-consciousness, energy fog, and all the points of view and all of the implants and all of the stacks and stringers around all of that, can we just choose to destroy and create all that?
I choose this.
Yes.
Yeah,
I choose
can't reclaim,
that.
renounce, trying to create, vaporize, vaporize, vaporize,
Vaporize, vaporize.
vaporize, make, null, void, good, bad, right, wrong, pop, pock, shirts, boys, and eyes. Yeah?
Jaden?
Yes.
It's Jen. I know the story is there and I can't see it or perceive it, but I know it's there.
Yeah. Say it 3 times. I can't see it. I can't see it. I can't see it.
I can't see it. I can't see it. I can't see it.
So everything that all of that is and all the booby traps, Wernicke's commands that are around that or relate to that, wow. Can we destroy and create all those?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Resend, revoke, can't reclaim, renounce, just trying to create, vaporize, 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 make, null, and void, good, bad, right, wrong, pop, oxygen type, yeah? So how many of you, I'm talking to Jen as well, but like this applies to most of us, how many of you have gifts and capacities with seeing and your ability to see through the illusions and through the constructs and through the bullshit and see what's real and true? And how many Wernicke's commands do you have that say you can't see, you will never see, there's nothing to see here? What other commands come up that are related to not seeing?
See nothing.
See nothing.
Don't look at it.
Don't look at this. Nothing to look at.
You're
Fog your
blind.
vision.
You're blind. You have no vision.
I don't have power to do that.
Say that again.
I don't have power to do that.
You don't have the power to do that?
Just look
nothing.
inside.
Just look aside?
You can't
See
see
nothing,
clearly.
be nothing.
See nothing, be nothing?
Yep.
Okay.
There is nothing there.
There is nothing there. Ooh, boy, feel that one. There's nothing there. There's nothing there. Say that 3 times, everybody. There's nothing there.
There's nothing there.
There's nothing there.
And everything that all that is. Fuck, I never saw that one. Can we just try and create all that?
Yeah, just that.
Send book who can't reclaim, renounce, denounce, just trying to create vaporize, 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 make null void, good, bad, right, wrong, pop akshas, benign, beyonds. I never fucking saw that one. Oh! Obviously, I tripped over that one more than once in my lifetime. Interesting, cool. Does that open up something, Jen?
You're not allowed to look at that. You're not allowed to see that, and you're getting old, so your vision is deteriorating.
So
Yeah, I got that one.
what if a lot of the vision stuff is actually the successive, the
Not
process
seeing.
of having all these Wernicke commands and not seeing for so long that your body starts to take that in and make that real and true?
Oh, yes.
Wow.
Wow. I was asking this question myself today about wearing glasses since I was 5.
Me too, and I improved them. Yet there is still I improved them by some diopters. Yet,
So
still.
there's an immense amount of things that we're like opening up to and exploring and working and playing with. And so what are all of the places that you have internalized Wernicke's commands, conditioning, programming, and that your body, what is all the places, there we go, what is all the places that your body has taken in and is making real and true all of those Wernicke's commands, all of those statements around your incapacity to see, or your inability to see or perceive or hear or sense
Or speak.
Whoa, that's a lot of information. Expand out, perceive more. And expand out and perceive more. Wow, including behind you and below you. Wow, and expand out and perceive all of it. Wow. And everything that all of this information is, can we just try and create your attachment to making this real? For you and your body.
Yes, I choose this.
Yes. Resend, revoke, you can't reclaim, renounce, denounce. Just trying to create vaporize, 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 vaporize. Make null void, good, bad, right, wrong, pop akshas, ben beyond, vaporize. Somebody's beating on something. Is that you, Michael?
What?
No, this is beating noise, like somebody slamming on a locker or something like that.
No.
Okay, no, I just saw a little glowing light by your name there.
Okay, so yeah, maybe it's my spine cracking. My releases are really so good. Yeah, it's my body is.
I love it.
Yes, it's just my spine. My body is included. And
that's so cool. I love it. Yeah.
There is one thing I have noticed this week. When I choose something, is when all the things kick in. Mm-hmm. If I don't choose anything, I'm quiet at home, it's like nothing happens, I'm quiet, I'm happy. And it's like, what would I like to choose? Should I choose that? Well, I would like to choose that. Yes, and then it's like, bang.
Yep.
All the manipulation kicks in.
Yep. So, Max, we can hear you there. I'm going to mute you. So what is all of the... Wow, that totally just distracted me. That is so amazing. Yeah. Say that again.
When I choose something, the manipulation or demons or whatever entities, they come in and they mess up with my mind. No, do this. No, do that. But if I don't do anything, I'm calm. I'm okay.
Yeah. So how much has our choosing been manipulated away from us? Like, how much have we experienced a succession of manipulations over time to cause us to go to a space where the only safe space is when you don't choose?
Yep.
Really big.
Okay? So it's one of those things where it gets you to a space, and I got to a space in my life, and the whole spiritual religion or philosophy on this planet currently also goes there. It's not about doing, it's about being. It's not about choosing, it's about being in the flow with and one with everything. And it's not about the choosing, because that's a separation. It's about being harmonious with everything. Join hands, brothers and sisters, shall we? La, 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 la.
Flower power.
And everything that all that brought up. Now, and it all tangles in duality, so there's not a right and a wrong in it, but I was having fun with it. So everything that all of that brought up, can we just choose to just try and create it all? No, boy, good, bad, right, wrong, pop, action, beyond, vaporize, 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 vaporize. So it's like how much, so allow yourself to perceive what is all the manipulation that has occurred since the beginning, and I'm going to keep that generic, to prevent you from connecting to your choice and to prevent you from choosing. Wow. And expand out, perceive more. Wow. And expand out and perceive all of it. And I've been using this phrase stacks and stringers. And stacks to me are the stacks of repetitions. So what are all of the piles of repetitions of these implanted or these stuck in things that came in to kind of sidetrack you or redirect? Like how often, allow yourself to perceive all the iterations or all the number of times where that has occurred, where your choice has been redirected in some way across all time, space, dimensions, realities, bodies, domains, parallels, dimensions, alters, fractures, beyond. Wow. And everything that all of that is, and all the stacks and all the stringers and all the implants around, all of that, can we just choose to just try and create it all?
Yes, I choose it.
Send, revoke, can't reclaim, renounce, denounce. Just trying to create vaporize, 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 vaporize. Make null, void, good, bad, right, wrong, pop, action, beyond, vaporize. And are you guys vaporizing with me as we do this?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
that's fine. As long as you're participating, we must be participating.
Hey, Jaden.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so it's Jen. So one of the things that came up was you'll see it later, and then it's a sense of moving it through time and space, so that obviously you never see it later.
Yeah. So what I'd like
I still can't get to the story part.
Yeah. So what I'd like to do with that, Jen, is I'd like to put that on hold for now. Like you've got to play around in doing like what Rosie did, because you have access to that kind of information very readily, is to like pull out all those Wernicke's commands and like make a list of them and then just toast them all. Because there's a pile of them there. We're going to, at some point later, we're going to go through organs. We're going to go through the body systems, vision systems, hearing systems. We're going to go through the systems and organs, and we're going to do processing on all of that, but it's like down the road a bit. But
gotcha.
But I can feel that that's up for you now. So, and like you got all the tools. So my encouragement would be hack at that. And anybody else who, like when you notice something like that, like sit down and like feel into like what is the stuff that's blocking there. And if you think about it as commands that are being directed at you, and they often start as you, like you will, or this, like it's a command to you. If you look for them as commands, not the way you flipped it around and personalized it, because somebody might have given me a command, you don't know anything. And so I'll turn that around into, well, I don't know anything, or why don't I know anything? And it's like, there you go. Yeah. I guess I'm not the only one who had that. So it's like, if you try to clear why don't I know anything or I don't know anything, you're not actually clearing the command. So it can reiterate in other ways. So flip it and look for the command, you don't know anything. And once you get practiced with that, you can start to see these things really easily. So play with flipping it around in the context of you being commanded these bizarre things. And don't get attached to how that happened, because there's some of it I think didn't necessarily happen in a solid way, like there's somebody standing in front of you making that command. Some of these can be broadcast at you energetically or through frequencies. So don't get wrapped in the story of how it happened. We'll untangle more of that, but that's more down the road. But just kind of play in that there's something there and hack at that. Make sense?
Cool. Thank you.
Yeah, cool. Other people. So how was the home play, or what was the aftermath?
I had something fun. I posted about it. So
Yeah.
I was playing like for hours extensively after session, and then I had like this weird effect, like I've started to get paranoid about like neighbors seeing me, meaning which they don't. It's dark, the room was dark, and suddenly it was kind of like a light source from like in front of my window was like some kind of etheric stuff floating and flashing like me, like with a flashing flashlight, and I was like, what the fuck? So it was like blending over, so to speak. It was not really there, so I instantly noticed, and then yeah, I sent them away. Yet it was very weird. It was like in between worlds, so to speak. It was like, it seemed like a physical light, so I was like, oh, this is just like whatever, someone's flashing at me, or, and then it's instantly, the energy was very weird, and yeah, then stuff happened, so.
Yeah. So what I noticed with that, like I used to have that all the time, and that's where my awareness around entities helped. It's like I'd see a light or I'd see something, and then I wouldn't, and then I would sort of, and it's like, no, it's not there. Yes, it is there. Like, how much can you see things that go beyond the physical realm of just light?
Yeah.
So, like, allow yourself to perceive all of this, your capacities to see that go beyond the light spectrum. There you go. Like, and you can even, if you've ever heard of synesthesia, and we'll talk about that more later, like you can, so how many of you can hear through your nose? How many of you can, let me do it in a more straight up way. So how many of you can see through your ears?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Pretty
How many of you can see through your throat?
Oh, that's blocked.
Yes.
Okay. How many of you can see through your hands?
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
yes.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. How many of you can, let's go into how many of you, okay, yeah, that I'll let that run. That opened up something. Okay, so all the shikyu, stupidity, unconsciousness, anti-consciousness, energy fog around all that, can we destroy and create it all?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yes.
Yeah. Make null, void, good, bad, right, wrong, pod, poc, shits, was, nights, beyonds, vaporize. So it's like when you're interacting with beings, the thing that you want to be aware of is what are you, when you're being aware of it and when you're calling more of it to you. So there are times where I could be, so like I would be in the space and all of a sudden I'd perceive something that might be foreign or alien or whatever. It's just, it's stuff, it's a frequency. And I'll connect to that frequency, and as a result of me connecting to it, I actually invite it into my reality more. So how often are you not being aware that you're perceiving something, and then that lack of awareness is causing you to actually bring it closer to you and invite it to participate in your reality more solidly? Yeah, that. And all the shikyu, stupidity, unconsciousness, anti-consciousness, energy fog, around all of that, can we destroy and create it all?
Yes.
Cheers.
Yes. Make null, void, good, bad, right, wrong, pod, poc, shirts, boys, and nights, beyond. So how they go.
Can I add something related?
Yes.
I have been for years, especially in my weird drug phases, I have been noticing an effect. Like whenever I was like in altered states, were doing like magic, whatever. At some point, like helicopters, choppers, kind of like a very deep humming tone, they were appearing. This started to happen again after your classes. So suddenly I hear helicopters everywhere. They, even at night, they are kind of sometimes even like in front of my window and like. And then I also started to tune out it, and I got the impression that it's, this kind of stuff, like that I'm processing it, like translating it like as helicopter sound, not even sure if it's there. So I can see them. I see it, I hear this, whatever, you know.
Cool. So let me pause you. So there's a lot of, so do you notice what that brought up for the group?
Yeah.
Okay. So
manipulation.
So, Michael, one of the things that I'd like you to be aware of is there are places that you go that are way advanced for some people, and that there are times when you'll bring in things like this to the group, it'll send the whole group out in places that are not always helpful. Sometimes it might be, sometimes it might not. So one of the invitations I have for you and is this something that is beneficial to share for the group, or is this manipulation?
Okay.
So how often does manipulation cause us to take an action or share something when it's not necessarily like I used to have in social situations where manipulation would insert this thing of like, well, talk about this. And I would share some harebrained, weird ass thing that I'm playing with. And I know these people are going to trip the fuck out as soon as I talk about this. And I start talking about it anyway, and they all kind of go, and that ends the conversation. Everything gets weird. And then I'm like, what? I don't understand what happened. Why does nobody like me? And it was because manipulation was causing me to say things that I knew would trip people out, but I wasn't allowing myself to be aware of the dynamic there. And so it was actually messing with, for me, my social situations. And
okay, so same for me. I apologize if it brought up too much.
No. I'm saying it not to make you wrong. I'm saying it to bring awareness in, like, because I noticed, like, there's an immense number of places that I've gone that are very similar to where you've gone, and so like I totally get what you're talking about. And there are other things that there are places that some people will never play because, like, how many fringe? Okay, so I'm going to bring this to everybody. Allow yourself to tap into all of the fringe topics that you've played in that the average even person doing the kind of work that we're doing may never, ever explore. Okay?
All the time.
Okay? So just notice what your areas are. And you'll draw to you clients and people who require to hear what you know and be able to speak and be able to engage those things. But like there are certain things that I know about, all kinds of things that I can't actually, it doesn't benefit the group for me to talk about because it just throws people up against a wall somewhere and they so it's just
And can some of it throw you up against the wall too?
You mean me personally?
Well, I'm just saying, can manipulation also be throwing you up against the wall? That's the other part of it.
Yeah. So it's another layer of being aware of that dance. Does that make sense, Michael?
Yes, processing.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, thank you. Yeah. So
we'll consider. So thank you.
Yeah. Now, and again, I don't want to make you wrong because
no, it's cool.
There are places where that stuff is a contribution.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
It's an awkward dance. Thank you. So, allow yourself to perceive all of the stuff that all of this has brought up because we've gone like all over the map, and it's triggered like a smorgasbord. So everybody notice the smorgasbord of things that are active in your environment. And all of the booby traps were Nikki's commands. Whoa. Stacks, stringers, and implants around any and all of this. Can we just choose to just try and integrate all of that?
Yes.
Yes, I choose
Choose
it.
Yes.
Yes.
Rescind, revoke, can't reclaim, renounce, denounce. Just trying to create vaporize times a gazillion. Vaporize, 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 vaporize. Make, null, void, good, bad, right, wrong, pop, pop. Yeah.
Hey, Jaden.
Yeah.
Okay, so when you ask us to perceive like whatever energy we bring up, like I have Renicki's commands that like it creates an auto response to where I know I'm not supposed to interact with it, but I interact with it anyways.
So can you give me an example of something?
Like just now, like when I just feel it, that's how I perceive it. Like it's like a reflex, like my body just kind of goes out and just plays, like, or just touches it, and
Yeah. So it's kind of like I used to have that with aliens, ghosts, entities, stuff that like I would notice it, and rather than leave it alone, I'd bring it into my reality.
Yeah.
Like I knew it wasn't useful or it wasn't valuable. So,
right.
So how much of that is the next layer of awareness? Like you go from I'm not aware of a pattern to I start to become aware, but I can't actually change it, to I'm aware of it and I change it as after it's happening, to I catch it before it's happening, to it's now gone and I don't have it anymore. Like that's like there's that natural progression. Mm-hmm. So how much of this is you making yourself wrong over your awareness of the natural progression of awareness? Does that catch, or do you?
Yeah, that
so
catches.
All the shicky, stupidity, unconsciousness, anti-consciousness, energy fog around all that, and all the DJCCs, hers, form, structure, significance around all of that. There we go. Yeah, and everything, because it makes that significant,
mm-hmm.
and then it locks it, which makes it like I'm aware of it, but now it's significant, and so I can't change it.
That makes sense.
Yeah, there you go. You got it. Yep, that's it. You got it. So everything that all of that is, can we just try and create all of that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Resentful, you can't reclaim, renounce, denounce. Just trying to create vaporize. Good, bad, right, wrong, pop, oxygen.
Vaporize.
Nice. Nice. So yeah, what's this? Yeah, there's another piece in here.
Is it the intensity of being not unaware?
Maybe like making yourself wrong for being unaware?
So let me ask, so what's the most direct way, because I can feel illusion here and I can feel distortion, and what's the most direct way through all of this?
Jaden, I'm sensing like a wall that I just want to blast through. That's how I'm sensing right now.
Yeah. So this is a great example. Thank you. So allow yourself to perceive that wall, that barrier that's there. Okay. So the recommendation I have for these is this play thing. So what would be the most fun way to blow through this barrier? So whatever, see what it is for you. Give me what comes up for you. What's the most fun way?
Bubble.
Flamethrower.
Okay. Bazooka.
Gallop on horses.
Galloping horses.
Rubik's Cube.
Rubik's Cube. That's cool.
Whoa.
Dancing.
Magic wand.
Magic wand. So picture whatever it is for you, and on 3, do that. 1, 2, 3. And sound effects are good too. Because when you hit this weird ass shit, anything that's mental and intellectual often doesn't untangle it. To me, it's like it's the energy of magic, illusion, magic, and the way to bust through it is with kid stuff. Like, what would your inner kid come up with? Like, it's just the weird ass stuff is what comes up with it. The stuff that's logical and rational often doesn't do shit. So when you have these, there you go. I can feel more people kind of playing with it in a different way, and there's more space opening up. Yeah, yeah. There you go. So look for the play things. Look for the irrational, illogical, like just what would be fun things, and try that.
Water gun.
Yep, water guns. Any of that.
Fairies.
Yep. So just play with that. Like, it's an exploration, and the more you play with it, the more you become aware of, like, wow, what's possible. Squirt gun. I like that. Cool. So, yeah. So I want to say all the shit, stupidity, unconsciousness, anti-consciousness, energy fog around any and all of this, and all of the implant stacks and stringers around all of this. Can we just try and create all of that?
Yes, I choose it.
Yes. Resend, evoke, you can't reclaim, announce, just try and create, vaporize. Make null, void, good, bad, right, wrong, hypocrisy, and yes. Oh. Somebody's in an environment where it sounds like somebody keeps slamming a door, or like a metal locker or something. So if that's you, if you could like mute. I haven't found you yet. I haven't found your little light. But I will find your little light.
Let me see, is this like that? I'm shaking head? No, okay.
Nope.
It's not your spine.
Yeah, my spine.
I love it.
It needs to move.
So I'd like to shift, let me shift gears here into, so this is the first part, and I'm going to, and it's not, do you have a question?
Just really quickly.
Yes.
I'm just so tired. I'm finding it really difficult to stick with it, and I'm sure there's some manipulation here. I get the feeling I'm not the only one.
So when you say stick with it, tell me about that.
Okay. So my eyes are getting really sore. In
this moment right now?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So allow yourself to perceive. Wow. Okay. Allow yourself to perceive all of the booby traps, all of the autoimmune, all of the
autoimmune
booby traps, like they mess with your autoimmune system. Allow yourself to perceive all of the what are all the booby traps that have the capacity to mess with your body systems? Wow. And what are all of the booby traps that you have that, so whoever's got a little kid talking in the background there, could you mute yourself? Wow.
Messing with all the body systems.
Yeah, so what are all the Wernicke commands messing with your body systems? And messing with your sensory systems? And all the Wernicke's commands and booby traps messing with any organs? Any
body parts?
Any body parts of any kind. Let's just try that. Any body parts of any kind. Any body system, any electrical systems, any what do you call it? Glandular systems?
Magnetic systems.
Endocrine.
That's what I was looking to grab right there. Yeah. So everything that all of this is, expand out, perceive more, across all bodies, all time, no time, space, no space, timelines, realities, realms, fractures, alters, parallels, dimensions, and realities. And everything that all of these Wernicke's commands, booby traps, and any related stuff and implants are, can we just choose to destroy and create all these?
Yes, I choose this.
Rescind, invoke, you can't reclaim, renounce, denounce, destroy and create, vaporize, 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 make null void. Wow. Good, bad, right, wrong, pop, actions, and beyonds. And now the drugs, alcohol, medication, chemicals, can we destroy and create all of that?
Yes.
Yes, I choose this.
Dissipate, release times a gadzillion, dissipate, release times a gadzillion, dissipate, release times a gadzillion, good, bad, right, wrong, pop, action, and beyonds. All drugs, alcohol, medication, chemicals, manipulated energies, dissipate, release times a gadzillion, dissipate, release times a gadzillion, dissipate, release times a gadzillion, make null void, good, bad, right, wrong, pop, action, and beyonds. All the drugs, alcohol, chemicals, medication, manipulated energies, dissipate, release times a gadzillion, dissipate, release times a gadzillion, dissipate, release times a gadzillion, make null void, good, bad, right, wrong, pop, action, and beyonds. And all the shikyu, stupidity, unconsciousness, anti-consciousness, energy fog around all of this, can we choose to just try and create it all?
Yes.
Choose this.
Make null void, good, bad, right, wrong, vaporize, 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 vaporize.
Vaporize.
Make null void, good, bad, right, wrong, pop, action, bad.
Yeah. Oh.
Wow.
Oh, that was big.
Wow.
Oh.
Lady, could we have a loop on that stuff?
Loop-de-loop.
Yeah. Let me, there's still too much moving for me to even tell what's going on. It's like, there are a bunch of loops that I have already. There's one that I have that I'm ready to share with you. I don't have the name of it right here. It's like, oh, what is that? But it's the next level of becoming aware, and I think it's one of those that requires a warning. Is that?
Never clearing 3.
Yeah, I don't remember which one it was, but Michelle, did you have a sense of it?
Yeah, mega clearing 3.
Mega clearing?
Mega.
Mega clearing 3.
Mega, M-E-G-A.
Yeah, mega clearing 3.
But there's one beyond that.
There's one before that, and there's one beyond. Yeah, I know. There's a lot of layers. I don't know. I will figure it out, and I will get you clearing loops to play with. There'll be more than one to play with, and so you can play with them and see which one does it. So, yeah. So where do I want to go with that? So has that shifted stuff for you in this moment?
Yeah.
Like, do you feel more present, and is it not taking you out?
I'm not sure.
So who brought up the question originally?
It was me, Ruth.
Ruth, hi Ruth.
Hi.
How do you feel? How do you feel now?
I do think I sense a shift.
Yeah, and
it feels like.
Do you have demon stuff running? Do you have alien stuff running? Do you have something else running?
I think it's all 3.
All the above, yes. So let's just do general. Do I want to do the big rundown? No. So let me just do. So allow yourself. So everything that you said, allow yourself to perceive all of the entities, all of the aliens, all of the demons, all of the creatures that you have in and around your body that you've employed or that you've hired or that you've allowed to participate in your reality in any way, shape, or form. And everything that you said that you would do for these beings and everything these beings said that they would do for you, all those agreements, can we just try and create it all?
Yes.
Yes, I choose this.
Yes. Rescind, invoke, you can't reclaim, renounce, denounce, just trying to create, make null and void. It's the sovereign being and the sovereign body of a free will universe times a gadzillion, make null, void, vaporize, good, bad, right, wrong, yes.
Vaporize. Okay.
And
oh,
wow. Okay. Wow. Okay. So let me just sit in this space for a moment. There's a variety of things going on here. Wow. Okay, so everything that's here, freeze. I tie it down. I tie it up. Freeze. Okay. And V prime creator, could you please remove all these beings in the way I would commonly do that? Yeah, right there.
Wow.
That noise right there. That. I will find the person making that noise.
Manipulation.
Yeah, well, it does.
Heavy breathing.
I prefer the heavy
Not
breathing.
me.
Heavy manipulated breathing.
So, yeah, it is. Yeah. So, the other layer I want. No, do I want to grab that first? Let's just clear. So, wow. So what I'm doing is actually sitting in a space, and all this stuff is just kind of like frozen, but it's trying to do stuff. Can you feel that? Like it's trying to do stuff, but it's contained in a way. Mm-hmm. That's not necessarily true for everybody, but like that's like the bulk of what I'm feeling for the group. And I was looking for, I'm just going to start clearing stuff. No, what do I want to do with that? There's manipulation in here. So what's the most direct way through all this? There's a dozen ways that I can do this, and I'm looking for a way that's most useful for this group. Okay. So to all these beings, return from whence you came, never to exist again, to these beings, these bodies, these realities, these dimensions, these alters, these parallels, these fractures, times a gadzillion, good, bad, red, wrong, pop, aksha, and beyonds. Return from whence you came, never to exist again, to these beings, these alters, these fractures, these dimensions, these parallels, times a gadzillion, good, bad, red, wrong, pop, aksha, and beyonds. There you go. Return from whence you came, never to exist again, to these bodies, these beings, these realities, these dimensions, these fractures, these parallels, times a gadzillion, good, bad, right, wrong, pop, aksha, and beyonds. There you go. Let all that go. Return from whence you came, never to exist again, to these bodies, these beings, these fractures, these parallels, these dimensions, these realities, times a gadzillion, make null, void, good, bad, right, wrong, pop, aksha, and beyonds. Return from whence you came, never to exist again, to any of these beings, any of these bodies, any of these parallels, any of these dimensions, any of these realities, times a gadzillion, make null, void, good, bad, right, wrong, pop, aksha, and beyonds. Wow. And all of the black meta technologies in and around all of this, can we just choose to destroy and create all of that?
Yes.
Yes. Rescind, revoke, can't reclaim, renounce, denounce, just trying to create, vaporize, make null, void, good, bad, right, wrong, pop, aksha, and beyonds. And it is a perfect place to do the alien clearing with you. So I'm going to introduce you to today the alien clearing, and it's up. Like there's all this kind of, and so I want to do that. I wanted to get the demon stuff a little bit cut down, so it made it easier for us to access it. But you feel this kind of swirling around, or that's how I perceive it. It's kind of swirling around, or you perceive whatever you perceive. Don't need it to look like the way Jaden perceives it. But so there's a series of questions that I'll ask, and the first question I'll ask is, where are all the alien beings in any of my bodies or any of my fractures? So allow yourself to perceive all the alien beings in any of your bodies or any of your fractures.
Oh my.
Okay, and don't engage it in any way, just kind of perceive it and expand out and perceive more. And expand out, perceive all of it. And the first thing that I do is because when we start hacking at the beings, or when we start doing what we're doing, they just sneak away. And I tried closing the ways they get away, and they have all these different ways, and I could never quite get it that way. So there's a couple things that I do. I bind the beings down to the center of the planet. So allow yourself to perceive all these alien beings, and kind of like imagine that you can perceive their legs, and like tie a rope around their legs and tie down to the center of the planet. And then I bind them to the core of the universe. So grab them, like the top of them around their heads or necks or whatever, however you want to do it. I don't think about it per se. I grab them and I bind up to the core of the universe. So they're kind of taught between the core of the planet and the core of the universe. And then I call upon earth magic and I say freeze.
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 Okay.
Freeze.
And the freeze isn't you commanding it. The freeze is you drawing upon earth magic and just the magic does it. You don't do it. You're just calling out the magic freeze. Okay? You're just freezing things. It's your reality. You can do anything you want with it, including freezing things. So now I want to do a little bit of scrambling here. So this is a variation of Gary Douglas's mind stuff. Everything is the opposite and nothing is the opposite. Programs terminate. Everything is the opposite. Nothing is the opposite. Programs terminate. Everything is the opposite. Nothing is the opposite. Programs terminate. Everything is the opposite. Nothing is the opposite. Programs terminate. Everything is the opposite. Nothing is the opposite. Programs terminate. And that one, if it feels like it's leaving you totally scrambled, that's what we're doing. So I have a variety of variations that I'm doing. There we go. That shift stuff right there. Right there. Feel that shift? Mm-hmm. So there's a variety of variations that I'm doing with that, and we'll talk more about that when we get into the mind stuff. But so the next thing I want to do is I want to start asking questions. And so I'm going to have you actually ask these questions of your aliens in your body. Okay? So ask, what are these beings?
What are these things?
What are these beings?
And now receive the answer. We're not looking for any mental at all. We're just looking to receive a shift of energy in the body. So just now look to the body for some movement of energy in the body, or some receiving of energy in the body. There you go. And we're not looking for any answers. We're not looking to understand. What we're doing is we're receiving the lack of information that we're receiving the information we should have as infinite beings that would allow us to know exactly how to interact with these beings. But we don't, because we don't have the information that we require. So we're now gonna get this information. And so now ask, what can I do with these beings?
What can I do?
And receive?
What can I do with these beings?
And receive? No thought. You're just looking to receive an energy.
No thought. You just receive an energy. No thought. You just receive an energy. No thought. You just receive.
Ooh, that's cute.
Somebody has two devices running. Look at that, so cool. And so now ask
technology.
Yeah. Now ask, what motivates these beings?
What motivates?
What motivates us?
These beings.
Okay, and receive. And now, what I'm also doing is I'm inviting you into standing in a different energy. And as these questions go on, it may get uncomfortable, but I'm going to invite you into standing into your infinite being. That's what these questions do. You're going to see I'm slowly stepping you into more of your infinite being. Okay? So ask the question, what motivates these? No. What are these beings' weaknesses?
What are these beings'
weaknesses?
And receive. Okay. I love that little. That's that energy that we're getting into. That's your potency there. What are these beings' strengths?
Strengths.
And receive. It's like you're sizing them up. You're gaining information. There you go. Receive that. And now I'm going to get a little more hardcore with you. How can I use everything these beings know to my simple advantage?
How can I
use everything
How
these
can I use
beings
everything
know
my
to
simple
my
advantage?
Simple advantage.
to my simple advantage?
And how much fun could it be?
Yeah, really.
Yeah. Exactly.
And receive. And receive. Don't allow yourself to be distracted. Like, there's something about focusing on the receiving that when you get this, you can receive in the middle of a hurricane, like, because you so get how to connect to that energy of receiving. So I'm going to deliberately keep bringing you back there. And so how can I use all the connections these beings have with me to my advantage?
How can I
Use all the connections
How can I use all the
these
connections
have
these
with
beings
me
have
to
with me
my
to my
advantage?
advantage?
And receive. And often when I'm doing this receive, I'll actually remind myself when I was practicing in the early days, I'd touch my heart. Like, I'm in body. I'm receiving in body. I'm not here. I'm here. But you guys are getting it, so it's not a big deal. But sometimes I used to do this all the time. I would touch my heart when I would receive. So what energy, space, and consciousness can I and my body be to use these beings to my simple advantage with simple ease?
What energy, space, and consciousness can I be in bodies being to my simple advantage? What was that?
Yeah.
So, let's see.
Hey, Jaden, what's that thing behind you?
Yeah.
What is
that blue screen behind you on
computer
the
screen.
floor. Look behind you.
This here?
Yeah, that.
It's a drawer.
Oh my God, that's weird.
Oh, it's
It
doing
is
all
weird.
kinds of weird
Excellent.
Is it? It's moving around, doing its
Yeah.
own thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I pasted. I'm going to paste them in the chat, and let's try that.
Say that last one over again.
So what energy, space, and consciousness can I and my body be to manipulate, dominate, and control these beings with simple ease to my simple advantage?
What energy, space, and consciousness can I and my body be?
Manipulate, dominate,
All these beings
energy.
simple ease to my simple advantage.
And receive.
Oh.
Now, do you see where these energies are going?
Yeah.
So here are beings who have you in a space of unknowing and unconscious, and they're manipulating you. So what you do to turn the tables, and I have tried everything that I could think of doing to clear entities, or to clear aliens. It wasn't until I started to ask these questions that anything at all started to shift, and I started to realize, like, what's going on here at a bigger level. And the more we play with this, the more you're going to start to see something, and you're going to step into your potency, because you notice where these are going. It's like, whoa, okay. So the next one, what energy, space, and consciousness can I and my body be to use all these being my simple advantage with simple ease?
What energy, space, and consciousness can I and my body be? All of these my simple advantage, simple ease.
My simple advantage.
And receive.
Oh, yeah.
Wow. Wow. And what energy, space, and consciousness, let me hit enter on it. What energy, space, and consciousness can I and my body be to harvest all these beings' energy sources with simple ease?
Energy, space, and
consciousness
can I and my body be
to harvest all of these
with simple ease.
with simple ease.
And receive. Don't let your brain get caught in this. Just let yourself receive. Receive. Because right here is where manipulation uses your brain to distract you. It's like, oh, I don't know what that is. Just receive. I will explain it, though. It's like we're getting, what I found is that I needed to, for them to perceive me, I want them to perceive me as a threat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not as this pathetic Earth being who is stupid and doesn't know anything of what's going on. I can use them any way I want. How many aliens you have in your body see you as a possession?
Wow.
Yeah.
They see you the way people see their dogs. The way humans keep dogs, they see you like their dog. Or worse. Like they may have less disregard. They may disregard you more than humans. Many humans disregard their dogs. Okay, so it's like what I needed to do in order to shift the energy is to stand in their viewpoint. So I kept asking questions based on what I knew their viewpoint to be, which expanded into more of their viewpoint and which expanded me. But how many beings are in you who are disconnected from their source, who are using you in ways to try to harvest energy from you?
Mm-hmm.
Feel that?
Yeah.
Okay, so we asked that question: how can I harvest their energy sources? And they all of a sudden go, "Holy shit! Okay, how do I get out of here? Wait, I'm tied down. Fuck, what do I do?" Okay, so it creates this situation. I had beings that I could not get rid of in other ways, but when I started to ask these specific questions, and you don't have to ask all these, and after a while you get to a space where you get a sense of the frequency of this particular alien, and you just know you could ask like 3 questions and they're gone forever, and they're running as fast as they can and they will never come back. And there are other ones where like you'll clear them, you'll clear them, and what will happen is
one of them.
It's
Express train out.
I'll say it on the next one. Permanently dumb. Yep, I'll say it on this one here. So what energy, space, and consciousness can I and my body be to permanently dominate and enslave these beings with simple ease?
Ooh. Energy, space, and consciousness can I and my body be permanently dominate and enslave
these beings.
Rose like enslave, yeah.
What about what energy, space, and consciousness can I and my body be to dismantle, neutralize, and scramble their strengths?
Mm-mm.
No, not?
No, because you're resisting them.
Okay.
You're resisting them as a force.
Ah, okay.
They're not a force. They're actually very pathetic, and they're trying to steal whatever little pieces of energy they can manipulate out of you. Like, you don't see it. You think they're these big, powerful, really smart beings. They are really fucking pathetic. And they're trying to get every scrap of energy they can. Notice how weird the lightness is on that. It like
yeah.
So all the shiki stupidity unconscious is energy fog around that. Can we destroy and create it all?
Yes.
Yes. Make, null, void, good, bad, right, wrong, vaporize, good, bad, right, wrong.
Vaporize.
Yeah. So you don't want to play their game. You want to overpower them. You want to be bigger than their game.
That's cool.
So you don't want to play at their level. You want to play at such a high level that they start to see you as the dominating energy that they know. I don't mess with this at all ever. And you, after a while, begin to this is a short answer. After a while, you begin to vibrate at a frequency that aliens won't even touch, because you're vibrating with these questions in you.
Yeah.
So when they come into your space, you're right away, oh, how can I manipulate this being? And they're like, okay, we're out of here.
Can we like eat it?
Right now, you're vibrating probably at a space of like, oh, well, how can I help this being? How can I assist this being? Does that ring?
Yes.
Oh yeah, I'm well aware.
Yeah. Like the beings are like, oh, cool! Like this is a full service place. I can get all my right here. I'm gonna move in. This is great.
What about the compassion stuff? Like in Buddhists, like be compassionate, makes them more aware and stuff. Is just another trap in your opinion, since it has been part of my past.
What do you think?
Yeah, partially.
Working?
I would say like if it's really genuine and so, yeah, I'm scrambled.
So in duality, I'll give this to your mind. In duality, all things are true.
Yeah.
You're trying to make one side true or not true. There in duality, somewhere there is a viewpoint where the opposite side is also true. So from some viewpoint, do the Buddhists absolutely have it nailed 100%? Yes. From some viewpoint, are they terribly misguided?
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'll let you decide that. Okay? Do you see the concept there? Like, we're dealing in infinite. When you get into infinite being, it's all true. Okay? So the next one that I found is this one here. And it's what energy, space, and consciousness can I and my body be to put these beings and their race under my control and in service to my agenda with simple ease.
Resist. Can I my body be pigs and their race under my control and in service to my agenda?
Race under my control and in my service to my agenda.
Service to my agenda.
With my agenda with
Oh,
Under
hell,
my
Jay.
control.
What's my agenda?
Money, wealth, health.
Whatever. Like,
Can they bring us money? Like in like the entity stuff, bring me money?
so how much has that worked for you and how much has that entrapped you?
It's not working for me.
Nope.
So no. Tap into it. How much has it worked for you and how much has that viewpoint entrapped you?
Oh.
Or done something else, not worked for you? I'll let you decide. I'll totally let you decide. But you can start to see why I couldn't put this stuff out in the preview calls. It's like, whoa, okay, this is just a little bit weird. But so let me explain this one. It's like there are beings who are part of a hive mind. They're part of a collective, and they're conditioned in such a way that they don't see any value in them. Like a bee, like you go, get out of here, I'll step on you. The bee's like, I don't care. Now you go talk to the queen and you say, or you tell that bee, I'm going to take out your queen, and all of a sudden the bee has a very different, it's more interested in what you have to say. Okay, so it's like when you get a hive mind race, the whole they themselves, they don't care about themselves. They see themselves as dispensable. That's their culture is that way. That's how they're wired. And that's how they want you to be. That's how the world governments are wanting you to become a hive mind, where you are dispensable, you are disposable. What you have is not of value. We just like whatever. Do you see the change from how it used to be 30, 40, however many years ago? It's a different energy. It's shifting into this hive mind frequency. So what does that tell you about the aliens that are working with our governments?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, it starts to tell you more about who they be and where they come from. So what I found is when I deal with those races, I can't tell them like, well, I'm going to steal your stuff. They're like, I don't care. Oh, you don't? Well, how about if I use my connection with you to enslave your entire race? Oh, okay. Like when you tap in, you can find there are certain ones that have queens, or they have different names for their head being. But
is Jaden napping?
Is what? I didn't say that again.
My bad.
Okay, no worries. So what you want to do is, so I that's where this question came from, and let me give you the next question.
Can you run, because I'm perceiving kind of fear.
Me too, yeah.
Cool. So truth is this, so
Energy bug.
Always stop. We'll do that. But remind me after this. So always ask whenever fear comes up. Always ask: is this fear or is this excitement? And notice how much of it is fear and how much of it is excitement. And what do you get?
Excitement.
Massively excitement.
Massively excitement. And is there some fear?
No.
Unknown. I don't get fear, but
I also get some manipulation kicking in, like telling myself or hearing like, oh, this is such a magnitude. Now I have start to fear because it's so big and cosmic, whatever. So
Right. Pause. All stories. So is this, how much of it is fear? How much of it is excitement?
Ooh.
What do you get?
5% fear.
Michael? Is it all excitement, or is it like 95% excitement, or what is it?
Very much excitement, like 90-10.
Okay, yeah. So I treat I don't dismiss the fear because I want to clear that. But I first ask, is this fear or is this excitement? And I let the stuff that's misidentified and misapplied reorganize itself. Oh, that's excitement, says I. I'm excited to finally be taking back control over my life instead of being fucked around by aliens. I'm excited about that. Imagine that. I could tell from the laughing when I hit these, like you couldn't read that without laughing. That's your body blowing out shit that's in the way of like, oh, I'm done with this crap, like out. Like this brings up stuff. So always then go back and see how much is there anything that is actually fear. So allow yourself to tap into all the Mobius strips, quantum particulates, Chick-U implants, trifold sequencing systems, in and around this and below and around this, and intertangled and intertwined and interlocking, and with all of that. And everything that all of those distractor implants are, can we just choose to just try and create all of those?
Yes.
Yes. Rescind, evoke, can't reclaim, renounce, denounce, just trying to create, make, null, void, vaporize, 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 vaporize. Good, bad, red, wrong, pop, oxygen, and beyond. So always ask, is this fear, excitement? Notice what's excitement. If there's still fear, clear the fear. Make sense?
Yes.
And now I can feel for somebody, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people, there's demon stuff that's like, whoa, demons have like kicked in hardcore. So demons are the power source. They're the things that you pay attention to that make things look powerful. My interesting point of view so far, if something seems powerful, it's got demons behind it. So anything that you have come up that's like, oh, this is big and powerful, demons. Clear demons. Just clear demons. Allow yourself to perceive anything in your reality that feels big and powerful and can overpower you. Wow, cool. And expand out, perceive more. Why not? Yeah. And expand out, perceive everything that's big and powerful and that comes up from time to time to overpower you. Yeah. And so everything you said you would do for these beings and everything these beings said they would do for you, can we choose to destroy and create them all?
Yes.
I choose this.
Rescind, evoke, you can't reclaim, renounce, denounce, destroy and create, vaporize, 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 vaporize. Good, bad, right, wrong, pop, oxygen, beyond. And return from whence you came, never to exist again, to these bodies, these beings, these dimensions, these realities, times a godzillion, good, bad, right, wrong, pop, oxygen, beyonds. Return from whence you came, never to exist again, to these bodies, these beings, these dimensions, these realities, times a godzillion, make, null, void, good, bad, right, wrong, pop, oxygen, beyonds. Return from whence you came, never to exist again, to these bodies, these beings, these dimensions, these realities, times a godzillion, good, bad, right, wrong, pop, oxygen, beyonds. Return from whence you came, never to exist again, to these bodies, these beings, these dimensions, these realities, times a godzillion, make, null, void, good, bad, right, wrong, pop, oxygen, beyond. Vaporize.
So, Jaden.
Yeah.
The power behind Wernicke's commands. Like, do demons employ them and aliens employ them? And creatures and entities, or do they just automatically kick in?
I think it's hardwired that way, and like there's so much diversity going on. It's difficult to answer your question solidly, but I'd say in the most generic sense that what if booby traps are, and Wernicke's commands, or no, it's like, what if there are programmed structures that cause things to work together?
Yeah, I just got that. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So that's, and when some alien, or let's say there's a Wernicke's command that's been plugged in, and some other being comes along and says, "Oh, this Wernicke command is really useful. Well, how about I wire it in with this and then back it up with a demon?" And they invite in a demon, or they trigger something to cause a demon to come in. And so it's like, okay, so now that has a little bit more force, and we now set that on a trigger. Okay, so we now have somebody's making a lot of clunking noise. Please mute yourself. So it's like, it gets built over time in a variety of ways.
Wow.
And to me, creatures are often put in there as a counterbalance to things. I don't see creatures in a negative way. Personally, I see creatures as an energetic counterbalance to things. Although, so a lot of creatures I find I brought in to, like, this is not working for me. Can I have a creature to counterbalance that? Right. But then how often has whatever that is been removed, and now the creature's not counterbalancing anything, and so the creature's weighing me down.
Gotcha.
Okay, so it gets elaborate, and so all the shit, stupidity, unconsciousness, anti-consciousness, energy fog around all this. Can we just try and create it all?
Yeah.
Yes. How can it be simple? Make, null, void, good, bad, right, wrong, vaporize. Good, bad, right, wrong, pop, action, vaporize, 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 vaporize.
I have a question.
Yes.
Is there a time when you end up clearing demons? Or if...
Is there a carrot
at
the end of all of this?
It's the end line. It's like when there is no more demons to clear.
I'll let you know when I'll let you know when I find that space.
Okay.
But what I can tell you is there are less and less, and I'm getting them in larger chunks. Like, I now can grab things in huge constructs of them. Like, to me, when all of your wounds and all of your fractures and all of your distortions and all of that is gone, nothing. But as you go along and you become more potent, like, you just play with this rundown clearing aliens for a while, you're going to notice that demons are going to seem really pretty pathetic after a while. Like, demons are a joke to me. Do they have power? Absolutely, but they're a joke to me.
Okay.
And pretty soon aliens will be a joke too.
And that's yeah, and we're getting really close to that already. It's like, really? They're doing that? Really? So let me give you the next one.
After that.
Let me give you the next one. So what energy, space, and consciousness can I and my body be to manipulate my hosted aliens so I can dominate and control them and their civilizations with simple
energy, space, and
my body
manipulate,
dominate, and control them. Civilization.
Everything, Jake.
Oh yeah.
and
I like those new programs.
What about sadness? I just had some sadness coming up. I asked, any impressions?
So, is it in this moment? Is that a distraction, or is it something that is beneficial to engage for you?
I wouldn't say it's beneficial in any way. Just asking, it came up, so.
Yeah. So sometimes that stuff comes forward as a distraction to take you off topic. And sometimes it's useful to engage. But I will say, for me, categorically speaking, sadness is contribution not received. So what I say to sadness is, how can I receive the contribution that this energy has for me?
I like that.
That's cool.
It's like somebody gives you something, like you try to gift something to somebody and they won't receive it. It makes you feel sad. They wouldn't receive your contribution.
There's something about sadness that's nice. It's almost bittersweet. I find. Yeah.
Yeah. So there's a lot of kind of interesting stuff there, but often it's thrown in as manipulation. That's what happened in my body anyway. So
Thank you.
Here's the last one in this big string. What energy, space, and consciousness can I, my body, be to use my connection with these aliens to completely bypass their safeguards and corrupt and overtake their entire Hive civilization?
Wow.
Energy, space, and consciousness can I, my body, use my connection with aliens to bypass and corrupt and overtake the entire Hive civilization. Believe.
Wow. And I don't use all of these with all of them. But I'm going to give you the big list, and you play in it. It's an energy that you're receiving awareness, and you're stepping into the potency of you at the same time. And you'll notice that these aliens squirm, and ultimately they'll either get away or you'll clear them. They'll either break free and they'll run, and they probably won't come back, or they'll and some do. Some are sent, like Hive civilizations are sent. So you really need to embody this frequency. Like, how can I take down the whole civilization? How can I enslave that whole civilization? And then the Hive civilization stop engaging you too. They stop sending you more drones. They because they'll send you drones and you clear, and they'll send you more drones and you clear, and they'll send you more drones, and they have an infinite supply of them, and you get tired of clearing them.
But that's kind of the energy of them, isn't it? It's like they're drunk. Yeah, I get that. Yeah.
That's that's where I get this shit from. It's like, what is that? What is that? I ask lots of stupid questions. Like, really, it feels like a drone. What is that? Okay. Yeah. So, and then the last question that I add in is, what energy, space, consciousness can me and my body be to turn all these aliens into a large field of pretty flowers with simply
Energy, space,
energy, space, and consciousness can I, my body, be to turn all these aliens into a large field of pretty flowers with simply.
And what that one's doing is it's breaking the significance. Because you run through this string and it gets you into the significance of, like, and you can feel their energy. The more you play with this, it's like, I'm here to dominate and control all beings, or at least the ones that I can. That's kind of the energy that a lot of them have. I'm here to dominate and control all beings that I can. The ones that are above me, I'm here to avoid them. Okay? That's kind of the dance that a lot of the aliens are doing. And so as you get into this energy, it's very easy to step into that and walk around with that. And by all means, play with that. Like, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it, but it gets to a place where you can be manipulated by that. And so sticking in, how can I turn everything into a large field of pretty flowers, just kind of pops that with the silly.
I just had like popping up and clearing right now. Is it dangerous to do this?
Yeah.
The next comment, booby trap stuff. So.
Yeah. Is that an inserted point of view, or is that your point of view?
Not mine.
Yeah. So here's a piece, and how are we doing on time? Okay, is that there are inserted points of view. So the next step in awareness is, what do I do with all of this stuff? And so one of them is, yeah, okay, I'm getting ahead of myself. Let me come back to that, because it's another tool I want to give you for today to play with, is that inserted point of view thing. But it's like you can have the control system or manipulation or an alien insert a point of view. This is going to be dangerous. What, for you or for me? No, I mean, but that's my viewpoint now. Back then I would go, ooh. Now I don't go there anymore. I just see it as funny. But you'll start to notice those inserted points of view. Okay, so that brought up stuff for people. Notice how many people are being triggered by this stuff. How many people have something that they would classify as fear running? Nobody's going to do it?
Yes, I've got it.
Okay, cool. So allow yourself, ask yourself the question. This is for everybody. Ask yourself the question: is this fear or is this excitement?
Ooh, yeah.
More excitement.
Yeah.
Well,
So how much fear are you used to ignoring and blocking? And so you're just like, oh, go away. I'm just going to ignore you. But like you really want to, as you become more sensitive, you can't do that as much anymore. So you want to untangle it. So and I'll get to you in a moment, Wendy. So all the Mobius strips, quantum particulate, chick-U implants, trifold sequencing systems, in and around, below and around, and in and around, intertangled and intertwined with all of this. Can you choose to, and don't respond to it yet because I want to stick in something. Can you choose to destroy and uncreate all of this, or are you going to allow manipulation to cause you to retain these distractor implants?
No way. I choose that.
I choose to release them.
Okay. Can we destroy and create all of those?
I choose that.
Yeah. This end of can't reclaim, renounce, denounce. Just trying to create vaporize. Boy, good, bad, right, wrong. Papa. And did you have something, Wendy? I think it's Wendy.
It might have been me, Diana.
Oh, Diana. Yes.
I was just going to say, for me, it feels like all of the fear that has been going on in my world for the last few weeks, this piece of information seems to have blown that out.
Woohoo!
So I haven't had any. Yeah. It feels exciting.
Thank you. Cool. So the last question that I want to give you, and it's just kind of like the big where we're going with this, is what energy, space, and consciousness can I, my body, be to remove all aliens from all my bodies with complete and simple ease?
Yeah, simple.
What energy, space, and consciousness can I and my body
remove all aliens from all my bodies and simple
Yeah. Wow, feel the energy of that. It's like thank God.
Yes.
Yes.
What do you mean by all bodies? Are you talking about alters, fractures, all dimensions, like
all of them?
Okay.
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm being deliberately big and deliberately vague. I want to grab all. I don't care what the story is. I'm not going to filter it. All.
Nice.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Can I ask a very obvious question?
Sure.
These questions that you've given us, they're going to be on a document of some. Okay. Just,
yes.
Okay.
You're going to get a meeting.
Okay.
You didn't memorize them already? Come on. Yes.
The program is faulty.
Yeah. There's a whole rundown. You'll get a whole document on this. Yeah. Everything, and thank you for saying it that way. Everything that you notice that you desire one for that you don't get, please flag me on it. Michelle brought up something that some people were in the group were saying, like, it'd be nice to have the clearing statement written down on something that's got all the different words on it. And so I'm going to put that together. It's like, so notice anything that is like, I wish I had that and I haven't already provided it, and please let me know. But yes, you're going to absolutely get it's a 5-page document. With 1,000. It's very simple. Okay, so yes.
Yes, it's fogging out. It's kind of like it's going best. It's muted out. So now I ask it, like, I ask myself in between, like, so has this stuff been there before? or is this just like because we are focusing on it, like that we are kind of enforcing it? And yet, while I wanted to ask this, it's like going back and forth, and I have to really clear on it. So maybe it's a good question here. So
Yeah. And
are we creating it, so to speak?
Both are true. Both are true. Like the more you put your it took me a bit to perceive awareness without engaging it. I'm sorry, perceive manipulation. Perceive people are like,
I was gonna say, could you say that again? I didn't get it.
I'm feeling it. I said it in English. Oh, I said something stupid. Okay, cool. So,
more awake than we realize.
so what I'm noticing is all the shaky stupidity, unconsciousness, and anti-consciousness, energy fog that's been brought up about all these topics on this entire call across all time, space, dimensions, realities, beyond. Can we just clear all that?
Yes.
Yes, I choose this.
Yes, I choose it.
Announce, vaporize, 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 make null, void, good, bad, right, wrong, pop, action. I'm like swimming through this cloud of stuff. I'm like, okay, maybe we should clear. So it's like what I noticed is that the more I put my attention on manipulation, the more I also would engage it. But over time, I learned that manipulation was manipulating me to engage it more, and I was able to clear that. So you both are true. Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah. So long time ago, we did, and normally this process takes about, I'll do this like in a minute and a half, but we're doing the long version. So remember we tied them down and we tied them up, and some of them, tap into them now and notice the difference in energy.
Very small.
Some of them are expired. Some of them have left. Some of them are like whatever. But you notice there's a very different energy now. So when you do this quickly, it kind of whacks them upside the head so fast they don't see what's coming because they're not used to this yet, or not yet. They're not used to this. They'll never be used to this because I can do more. That's what you do. You just keep creating more shit. That's what an infinite being does. We just come up with new ways to do this. They learn it and they adapt to it, so we come up with something different. Whatever. Who cares? We're having fun, right? Why not?
Brayden?
Yeah. So I'd love to get through this. So unless you really need to say something, yeah.
Oh, well, I was just going to ask that tapping into the energy, I've still got some that are really, really, really squirming and really trying to want to get away. Do we let that go?
Do that. Yeah, perfect. You're exactly where we want to be. Yeah, okay. I'm desperately trying to do the clearing. That's pre-clearing. This is actually the clearing. So there's different ways that I've explored with doing this, and I keep coming back to this one way, and it goes outside of mind, and it goes outside of let's just explore it and I'll talk about it later. So allow yourself to perceive the beings you have tied down, tied up, and frozen. And actually, I'm going to copy and paste it for those of you who are looking at it. Come on.
Get it.
So I'm going to say the prime creator, and I use the word the, and don't think about it, don't analyze it, don't put any significance on it. This is just my little pre-warning. Don't significate prime creator. It's just some energy you connect with. We don't care why we use it. We just use it. Okay? Because as you significate it, you can limit some things in your reality. I've noticed it because I limited prime creator. Like it stopped working, and I found, okay, I had significance on it. So whatever. The prime creator had these aliens removed from my body and being across all time, no space, dimensions, alters, fractures, parallels, realities, and have them recycled. And that's Rosie's word, and I have a whole list of words: erased, removed, terminated, banished, vanquished. I just say and do with them whatever Jaden would do.
Can you post it, please?
Yeah. And the rest of them.
So so that you'll get the whole document that has all of these things in there.
How cool is
But
this?
so actually say this: the Prime Creator, have these aliens removed from my body, being across all time, no space, dimensions, alters, fractures, parallels, realities, and have them recycled.
The Prime Creator has aliens my body, across all time, no time, space, no space,
The other stuff, it has them recycled.
parallels, erase, remove, terminate, banish, whatever.
Way here to release.
And
whatever feels more complicated.
So my short version of that is Prime Creators have these beings removed. Period. Prime Creators have these.
No.
Okay, that's what Jaden says. Prime Creator have these beings removed.
Yeah.
Prime Creator has
Prime Creator have these beings removed.
Okay, and sometimes Prime Creator will go like, how do you want to do it? So the thing that I notice is that we assume that Prime Creator knows more than us or has this viewpoint of the right way to do it. Only we have this right way viewpoint. So often beings who are interacting with you outside of this reality will go, well, how do you want it done? Because we know you have a way that you want it done. So I will say the way Jaden would do it.
What are you up to now? Is that it?
I will say the way Jaden would do it. Like, notice how out of mind that goes. My mind goes, what? Like, that doesn't make any sense. But as we start to communicate with things, I'll give you another secret. Aliens don't know ESP. They can't communicate in ESP. They require you to talk.
Oh.
They require you to think it. They require you to somehow put it in a language that they can grasp.
Wow.
So when I talk to my body in ESP, when I don't want aliens to hear, when I feel aliens in my body and I want to talk to my body, I talk in ESP to my body, and my body just kind of grins and nods its head. And the aliens are like, what? What? But I've learned they don't know ESP.
How do you do that?
The mind does not know how to do that. But you and your body know exactly how to do that. As we go further on, we'll get more into that. That's way advanced for where we're at right now. But as we unravel mind and we get into some other places, that'll be more accessible to you.
Okay, thanks.
You do it, let me just say, you do it naturally and you do it regularly and you've been conditioned out of it.
What do you say, ESP?
ESP.
Extrasensory perception.
You do it without words. When
telepathically.
Telepathically, yeah. So when you actually start to engage, it's like how you talk to entities. For those of you who talk to entities, you don't think it. You just like it's this burst of communications that occurs.
For me, it's like frequency language, like pulsing into the void, so to speak, like rippling frequencies very fast in hyper thought speed, so to speak.
Yeah, however you perceive it, absolutely. Yeah. Okay. So that's just a side note, and I will get through this clearing. So the next item in this clearing is all the shit, stupidity, unconsciousness, anti-consciousness, energy fog around all this. Can we destroy and create it all?
Yes.
Yes.
Make, null, void, good, bad, right, wrong, pop, oxygen, and beyond, vaporize, vaporize, vaporize,
vaporize, vaporize.
And then this is experimental, but well, this whole thing is experimental, by the way. I'm making this shit up as I go. You haven't figured that out. But you'll notice it does shit, and play with it. Like, make up your own stuff. Whatever works for you. Like, totally make up your own stuff. But here's this thing I've noticed. When you clear, so you have agreements, and then you have something called reciprocal agreements. So allow yourself to perceive everything that you said that you would do for any of these beings, and that any of these beings would do for you. And everything that all of those agreements are, can we vaporize, incinerate, destroy, uncreate, all that?
Choose that.
I choose it.
Rescind, revoke, can't reclaim, renounce, destroy, uncreate, make null, void, as a sovereign being in a sovereign body across all time, space, dimensions, realities, beyonds. Vaporize. Vaporize. Ladies and gentlemen, that's the
Just liberated the universe.
The universe hath spoken once again. So the other component I've noticed when it comes to aliens is, and I've sort of explained this before, and we're over time, so I don't want to go into explaining it again. All the rights, responsibilities, and access that you accepted from their domains, and all of the rights, responsibilities, and access you gave them in your domains, can we choose to destroy and create, vaporize, incinerate all that? Rescind, revoke, can't reclaim, renounce, denounce, just trying to create, vaporize, 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 vaporize. Make null, void, good, bad, right, wrong, pop, action, beyond. Is that how they go? Feel that stuff. Notice that shit.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I will stick a side note in there. I can't help. I have to explain. It's an addiction. I have to explain. Who does that belong to? Me?
What alien does that?
What alien does that belong to? Yes, the aliens need to understand. And actually, honestly, I think that's part of the reason why Gary Douglas doesn't explain a lot of what he does, because the more it's understood, the more it can be significated and it can be manipulated. So notice that dance. I'm playing a fine line with you because I'm aware that by explaining things to you, I can give your mind things that can support you. At the same time, I'm handing it to the aliens in your body who can also use that in a different way. So there's an interesting thing where we don't want to make any of this significant, because on some level it's not. It's just a really cool dance we're doing right now to untangle something. And we happen to make up these stories, and we're going at it through this way. There's a zillion other ways we could do it. This is just one. Okay, so really there's no significance about it. However, here's something really significant you must look at.
No, it's really insignificant.
It might be interesting. Reciprocal agreements where how many aliens how many beings have invited you into their worlds and given you access to their worlds and given you rights and responsibilities and like little things like customs. These are customs, but actually they're rights and responsibilities in their world. So and access to their world, and they've given you that in this way that seems generous and wholehearted, but you didn't necessarily want it, but you accepted it. Anybody have that flavor or that feeling on things?
Yeah, it's late.
Yep. Well, it's like, how often have you had... Yeah, so what that creates is a reciprocal thing where they, by default, have rights, responsibilities, and access in your reality.
Obligation?
Right, and obligations, that's the other word, thank you. And the obligations, often you don't give them a lot, but they have a lot. They give you a lot. So the bottom line is they give you access, you give them access. And it's like, I couldn't figure out, how are these aliens gaining access? Well, I had access in their reality, so they have access in my reality. So all the places where you have given and received access from aliens or other beings, and all of the rights, obligations, responsibilities, and access around all of that, can we just choose to just all that?
I choose that.
Yeah, I choose that.
Reciprocal, we can't reclaim, renounce, denounce, just trying to create, vaporize. Times again, doing good, bad, right, wrong, pop, action. Yeah.
I don't understand. So does that mean that we withdraw from their world too?
You're basically, when I started to look at it, most of it was set up as a manipulation. 99.9% of things I've looked at through the lens of manipulation, that's truthful, looked like manipulation. So when I cleared it, it actually set a whole lot of stuff free, that it's no longer out of obligation. It's more like, do you want to have a friend that allows you to into their house? My home is your home, but I want you to come over every week and wash my dishes and vacuum the floor.
Sure.
Like, it's that kind of stuff. Like, I get full access. Here's the key, and eat anything you want in the fridge. And once a week, come and vacuum the floor. It's that kind of stuff, right? So once you clear all those obligations, it's
you have to do it yourself.
Whatever it's going to be. It's weirdness. It's just another layer of weirdness to untangle.
I just thought that maybe we can use that to destroy the hive by knowing how they work.
I love what you think. By all means, do that. See, I don't actually go to destroy the hives. Personally, I just stand in the energy of I am so capable and ready, and it would actually be really fun to do that, so they avoid me.
Right. Like, don't
but
fuck
if you
with
feel
me.
drawn to do that, like, go for it.
Well, no, not really.
But that's the way to get it. I love how you get into the energy. It's like, yeah, where are we going? We're going to take it off first. Let's go.
Well, they're pissing me off.
So let me pause you. Are they pissing you off, or are you pissing you off?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not taking responsibility here.
I'm just noticing for me personally, when I get pissed off, it actually comes back to me, and it only clears when I bring it back to me and clear it. That's just my interesting point of view on that particular topic. And that was kind of square the whole thing. But you want to look at whatever, you get it. I'm tangling. Good, bad, right, wrong. So the last two things are: what are all the support structures, systems, adaptations, manipulations, technologies, and magics related to aliens in your body?
Yeah.
Wow. And everything that all of that is, can we choose to destroy and create all that?
I choose that.
I choose that now.
Resend, revoke, can't reclaim, renounce, denounce, destroy and create, expel, void, vaporize, 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 vaporize. Good, bad, right, wrong, pop, vaporize. And one last time, all the energy, shikyu, stupidity, unconsciousness, anti-consciousness, and energy fog around all of this, can we choose to destroy and create, vaporize it?
Yes.
I choose this.
Can't reclaim, vaporize, 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 vaporize. Good, bad, right, wrong, pop, So that was believe me, when you do this, like, it's going to be like that quick. It doesn't really take an hour. So that's the alien clearing that I'd like you to play with. And then the second thing that I'd like you to play with this week is there's two components to it. As you become more aware of manipulation, you get to a place where you start noticing it everywhere. And I think it was Ruth or somebody in the Facebook was like, "Well, what do you do with all this stuff?" So if you try to destroy and uncreate the manipulation, like, it's this twisted stuff that, like, doesn't clear that way. That's been my exploration. If you can get it to clear that way, go for it. I've not been able to get it clear that way. So what I found is all of this is wanting me to come to awareness. So when something comes up, I've actually started to when I see manipulation, I say all of the stacks, like it's all of the times they have ever manipulated me on this topic. Okay, so it's like, it's usually topical. It's about, like, I'm choosing food and I can feel this manipulation here. And it's like, okay, so all of the stacks of all of the times they have manipulated me on this topic, and all of the stringers, all of the interconnections that tie all of these different stacks together, and all of the implants around all of this. I choose to destroy and create all of that. Okay? And I'm gonna send you a recording that I did with
Christina.
Christina, thank you. I am just so fried. It's time to end the call. When Jaden's fried, it's time to end the call.
It is.
Where I explain this at more depth, so I'm not going to do it here. And it's a brilliant call that she brought up all kinds of really cool things in me and brought out new information. And so I'll just send you that call and you can listen to that. But so allow yourself to perceive all of the stacks, stringers, and implants around all the manipulations that you have going on. Hello.
Hello.
And everything that all of those stacks, stringers, and implants are, can we just choose to destroy and create them all?
Yeah, choose that now.
Never claim, renounce, denounce, destroy and create, make, null, void, vaporize, 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 vaporize. So that, and then I'll give you a card on the other thing is, ask sometimes, is this, no, it's out of context. I don't want to stick it in here. I'd have to open up too much. So I'm at one of these places where I have not actually yet gotten awareness on what to run for your home play. Is that obvious to anyone in the group what to play with this week? Do you want to play with the alien stuff with each other?
Yeah.
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 Does that sound like
the stacks, stringers, and implants on different topics? Sounds really great.
Okay.
What did you ask us?
About what the home play is for this week.
Jaden, about an hour ago, I wanted to ask you this question, and it was, when something comes up, I see that it's important to find out if it's entities, demons, or aliens.
Okay.
Do you, because we clear them different.
I don't anymore. I use the Prime Creator for all of it now. I just say everything that is Prime Creator, take them away.
Oh. Wow. Okay,
now,
cool.
That doesn't always work for everything, but I start there and I take all that away, and usually a big chunk goes, and then I clear what's remaining if there's anything remaining, using whatever tool.
Okay.
But for now, play in the alien clearing, because that works for me because I'm standing in a level of potency. The more you stand in your potency, you just flick your finger and it's gone.
Yeah.
Like, it's really the bottom line. Like, you've disempowered you or the system or the structure, or you've allowed, however you want to look at that, or you've been manipulated, however you want to look at that right now. Like, to the point where there's like 2% of you, 5% of you, 8% of you, 20% of you. When you get like 80% of you showing up, holy fucking shit, look out. Like, things just clear out of the way. They see you coming. Like, really, it does that. Like, for me, what I notice is when things aren't working in my life, I just need all of me or more of me to show up. And I don't even have to clear shit. It just kind of goes...
Wow. With an intention.
No.
And bars help.
It just does that. And absolutely. There's my bars cheerleader.
He has a bar run many times a week. So.
Go to your local neighborhood bar, get a Jack Daniels. That's not what Rosie's talking about, probably.
Margarita.
Margarita, that's right.
That's fun.
Ring ring, hello. So for home play, I'm going to have you do with your partner the alien clearing, and I'll have you play around with stacks and stringers on things. How's that?
Yeah,
cool.
That's great. Awesome.
Yeah, good.
And I'll write it up like I did last time so that you have that, and it'll take me a little bit to get it posted, but I'll put it up with the replay and all that kind of stuff. So nothing new. Anything that is here that if we don't clear it, you feel you're going to be left or stuck in something.
No, but I just want to say thank you very much for the manipulation clearing.
Oh, you're welcome.
I'm so grateful for that.
Thanks for being so clever. Awesome. Cool. So much fun, man.
Yeah. It was so awesome watching you guys go through those lines of the alien clearing line by line, and to feel the energy in the group go like, yeah, yeah, yeah.
World domination, here we come.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
What do you mean world, universe?
Yes.
Kendall, did you have something?
Yeah, I just wanted to ask a quick question.
Yeah.
When you said like when more of you start to show up, and that's when your potency just starts to kick in, and like, can you just simply ask like, hey, I need more of me to show up?
I strongly recommend it.
Yeah.
What would it take for 100% of me to show up? I like the number in there.
Yeah.
There's something about that in there. Or even, I've never played with it. I never quite grabbed on it, but like Gary used the 1,000% or whatever. Play with anything you want, but I like the number in there because it's like all. I want all.
Infinite percent.
Infinite. Yep. And in the recording I'll send you, we'll talk about, there's a whole other component of that. And that's, yeah, I'm not going to get into it.
Okay. And
the universe thing, look, we need to move on. Is there anything, so let me just scan for anything that's here. So all the Mobius strips, quantum particulate, chick-U implants, trifold sequencing system, all of the 90-degree systems, all of the vanquishing mirrors, vanquishing technologies, all of the simple and abstract systems, counter systems, all of the, matrix seeds, matrix backdoors, auto install, auto reinstall, auto backup, auto update, systems technologies, magics, black meta technologies, and all the shaky stupidity, unconsciousness, anti-consciousness, energy fog around all of this. Can we choose to just try and create all these really interesting points of view?
Yes.
Reciprocal, can't reclaim, renounce, announce, just trying to create vaporize, 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 make null void, good, bad, right, wrong, pop, auction, beyonds, and vaporize. Wow. Okay.
Could we just check what comes back within like the next month, week, year, or is this already covered?
No, that's something that I'm going to have you play with on your own.
Cool.
I wanted to show you that when I do one-on-one with stuff, when I do one-on-one sessions with people, I do that as a standard protocol. At a group level, it gets kind of for today's topic, it doesn't read for me. But by all means, do check that because by all means, do check that. Creed.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Did you put a reminder in the email about the photo when you send out the thing? Because I'll forget it.
I will. Yes,
Yeah.
you're right. Yep. Photo reminder. Will do. Awesome. Cool. Okay. So, wow, we've moved a couple mountains today, or at least a couple aliens. This is going to shake up the alien community. You get that, don't you?
Yes.
oh yeah.
Cool.
Sorry. Not. Okay, cool. So if you want to unmute yourself, and let's do a 1, 2, 3 wahoo, just to kind of join voices and yeah. Ready? 1,
Solidarity.
2, 3. Yay!
Yeah.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, everybody.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
See you next
Bye. Bye.